Welcome to LuniaTALKS. I'm Safwan,
I'm Yusuf.
and we're from Lunia 3D. And essentially, this podcast is just going to be a breakdown of us going into 3D printing, everything we love, everything we hate about 3D printing, and essentially just fanboying over the whole experience of 3D printing. Cool. So, Yusuf, would
Yes.
you care to explain to me, in a nutshell, what is 3D printing?
Okay, so 3D printing is actually quite simple. It's just essentially plastic, mostly laid up layer by layer to create a final object. There's hundreds of videos online of this, but yeah.
Fantastic. So, the basics of 3D printing is that you have a filament that goes straight through an extruder, which you have on every printer, and then you have a heated bed. So what
Yes.
happens is the filament goes through the extruder, gets warmed up, and it gets melted onto the bed, and it starts painting layer by layer
That's it.
and kind of rises up as you do it.
Yeah.
And that's what gets your plastic
Exactly.
to harden and form beautiful shapes. Our motivation behind this talk is to break it down into different parts where we dive into what's new in the industry, we dive into what's hot, what's on the press, what's not on the press, what is developing, and also to kind of attract more people towards 3D printing because it's become our passion for a lot of years. And Yusuf, you've been in the industry for over 5 years now.
Yeah.
I myself have been in the industry for about 3 years now. And hopefully
How you finding it?
it's a it's a roller coaster, man.
It is. Isn't
I'll
it?
be honest with you.
Yeah.
3D printing is a roller coaster. It really lets your mind jump out of places.
It's quite a challenge, right? But when you overcome that challenge, you get a beautiful product.
Yeah. Or you want to jump onto a heating bed and just
All that.
let yourself melt away.
Yeah.
I think one of the main things about 3D printing is showing that how it's coming into the industry, and
Yeah.
it's almost worth 20 billion. The industry in itself, something
Wild.
that was way less than half of that in 2022 alone. So it's very interesting to see how the industry is developing, and it's very interesting to see how 3D printing is technologically.
It is. And like that growth is like quite good in terms of like what you said about the 20 billion right now. If you compare that to like traditional manufacturing, it's like absolutely nothing in the market. It doesn't scratch the surface.
No. So Yusuf, dive me into a quick history of what 3D printing came from.
So 3D printing came in around like 1980s. Essentially, a guy made a resin-based 3D printer. The parts that would come out are not the greatest parts you'd see, but you get an object, and like that was like the kind of birth of 3D printing. Those initial people, essentially, as they growed, they became like the giants today, 3D Systems, Stratasys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess 3D Systems was the first IPO'd 3D printing company, essentially.
Exactly.
And they went public, and they saw great success from
They said,
Becca.
let me take all these patents.
Yeah. Now that's what you see, these front runners in the industry now. They're kind of leading, and now it's great to see 3D printers in homes, in schools, in workshops. I mean, a lot of people that I've spoken to in the industry have their own personal one, let alone having it in their business or not. So I guess in essence, why 3D printing matters is because it cuts time.
Yeah.
Something that can take a few weeks can only take a matter of minutes or hours. I guess that's what's the beauty of it, alongside the whole efficiency of the environment.
You can use recycled materials in 3D printing, which is quite important in this day and age.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Plastics is a taboo subject.
Yeah, because essentially it uses plastic that you need as opposed to plastic that you might not need that comes from traditional manufacturing.
Exactly. When 3D printing actually started to like really kick off like throughout the whole world was around COVID time. COVID was like quite a important time where 3D printing was like very useful because all the businesses had to close down.
Of course.
But the hobbyists, they had 3D printers at home, right? So these medical staff, they were after face masks and things like that, right?
Cool.
The visors, do you remember the visors?
Yeah.
They kind of ran out of them because they can't injection mold enough, I guess. People were like, oh, let's just like 3D print these like visor attachments where you put the actual screen on, and that just became popular and more people started to take that on, and it helps like the whole healthcare industry and things like that. Not only that, if you noticed in COVID time, after COVID I should say, everyone became like a little bit more entrepreneurial with their mindsets. So that means you got to make a product somehow, to if you're doing that side of entrepreneurship, right? Where you've got a product.
Yeah.
How do you make that product? Oh, okay, let me go to a traditional manufacturer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to spend like 15, 20K straight away on like a mold that I don't even know if it's going to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, people started to catch on. Let me just like jump on 3D printing. Let me make my product like this. Soon Etsy started blowing up with like hundreds and hundreds of products. And yeah, it really does help people think of ideas for themselves and create an income around it somewhat.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a little side hustle. I've seen that on the tail end of COVID, to be honest.
To be honest, I could have done with a bit more of the entrepreneurial mindset. I've just printed myself fidget toys.
Yeah.
And I've just printed myself stuff that gets rid of my ADHD as much as I can.
I mean, that helps you work in the workflow, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's interesting you talk about the masks because I remember back in lockdown days.
Yeah.
I know we can't say the C word.
I know.
So back in lockdown days, I mean, I think I was traveling in London once on the train and I saw a guy. I've never seen a dual wielded mask. So he was dual wielding it to both sides of his head.
Right. Okay. Wild.
So yeah, I mean, the best innovation I saw, you're right, was in lockdown. I saw a lot of people come out with a lot of different prototypes for stuff that A could be useful and B could just be something pleasing to the eye.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the stuff that we have behind us and around us, half of it is functional, half of it is
just aesthetic. Yeah.
Gimmick. Yeah. That's the essence of 3D printing. It's
exactly
shifting the onus from hobbyists to kind of something that's a bit more practical as well.
Exactly.
So kind of finding that middle ground.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you have something practical, I still feel like a hobbyist when I see it.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's the beauty as well about 3D printing. You've got businesses, you've got hobbyists, but it's all one big community. There's no like alienating the hobbyists from like the businesses. We all can work together, all can create solutions. It's manufacturing anywhere at any time as long as you have a file.
Beautiful. What I love about 3D printing is that you can have an idea in your mind, you can design it, or you can get someone to design it, and then you can just bring it to life in a matter of minutes. So I guess seems very far-fetched.
Yeah, my parents still think it's magic.
It's super, super interesting. I guess another thing about 3D printing is that it's rapid prototyping. It's something that's going to be cheaper, it's going to be more efficient, it's going to waste less material, and it's going to be bespoke. I think that's something that you can't really get in every single different type of manufacturing.
No, and like if you could, unfortunately, it all comes down to the money involved in it. Unfortunately.
And it's great because that's why the community in 3D printing is built so much over the time, because hobbyists, it's very easy to enter 3D printing. I mean, you only need £300, £200 or not
essentially.
Even that.
Essentially.
So just by a small payment, you can fully get into it and start making products and then take it whichever avenue you'd like to take it. And that's the beauty.
Got something else that's cool to talk about with 3D printing. I was at an expo, I think last year sometime. This person developed a chocolate 3D printer. I thought that was so cool, man. You know, if you go to like a coffee shop or something like that, and like you get like a little mini Eiffel Tower printed with chocolate.
That's crazy.
That would be super cool, right?
I've seen that. They print steaks as well now, right?
Oh yeah, that's the thing as well. Steaks is a big part of it. They are more like vegan kind of steaks, just because of like easier to process, I guess. Essentially the same thing. Like food printing is wild.
How do you ask for a medium rare when it's printed?
Yeah, that I don't know. But think of this. Oh, can I get 20% fat in my steak? Can I get 15% fat in my steak? One nozzle for fat, one nozzle for meat.
Okay.
So you got that kind of like fine tuning control.
So not only is it for everyone can also 3D print. I think you don't have to be a special type of engineer or you don't have to be a special type of product designer to print, right?
No, I think all you need is a little bit of creativity in your mind, which everyone got, I think.
Yeah. My personal take on this is that I think we're shifting in a way where within the next 10 years, we will see a 3D printer in every house, and I think everyone would be able to use it.
Just like our paper printers.
Yeah, exactly. Myself, because fairly new to the industry, is that I was always worried that I needed a designer or I needed something or I needed iron hands or iron fists. You just hit print. You have a design. If you don't have a design, you find a design online. There's free designs all over the website.
And I think that's an important part, is that if you've ran into an issue, someone else has probably ran into that issue before, and they've made a solution around it.
And they're very happy to share the solution as well.
100%.
Yeah. I guess that brings us to an end for our first episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Whether you're an engineer, whether you're a designer, whether you're a footballer, a chef, or a stay-at-home dog, this talk is for you to kind of introduce you into 3D printing, tell you about what the hot goss is, tell you about what's going on in the industry, and kind of bring in that passion that we have in the community of 3D printing out to our viewers.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you have like a single grain of creativity in you, then I think this show is going to be quite fun to like watch and just explore the world of 3D printing.